Well, one of the things you need to know about me is the fact that I do drag, is almost a second career at this point, and you can tell, you can sense when it's just off-putting to people. And sometimes people will just be outright vocal about it and tell you, oh, well, I just don't get into that at all. I think it's gross, or I think it's sad, or why would you do that? Why would you, put on a dress when you're a guy? I don't get it. It's so, and that kind of stuff hurts sometimes because, like I said, it should be about just who you are as a person and not what you wear or whatever. But it's out there. My real name is David Lee Richardson. I'm 56 years old. I currently work as a mental health tech at the Austin State Hospital. My definition of what a drag queen is just somebody who enjoys dressing up in attire of the opposite gender to entertain, amuse, inform, or educate. Well, first of all, you have drag kings and drag queens. And then if you break that down, you have camp drag queens, which are kind of like comedy queens, pageant queens that are doing, kind of beauty pageant kind of drag. Alternative kind of art house queens that do avant-garde kind of looks. So really, there's just all types of kings and queens. The one thing I'd like to put out there is that all forms of drag are valid.
This past summer, the Princess Cruises got fined like $1,000 for dumping trash overboard. And I don't even know why, ladies and gentlemen. If they had asked me, I'd have left on my own accord.
Well, I'm always going to probably strive to do a little better. That being said, I kind of am at ease with what I'm doing right now. And I don't want to be a carbon copy of 800 people that are out there doing the exact same thing. So if it is a little bit off, maybe that kind of works to my advantage sometimes. So I'm okay with that because of the fact that I'm kind of a screwball character. I think that if it is a little off, it kind of fits what I'm doing. There's a lot of prejudice that comes from the straight community as far as drag, but there's also prejudice within the LGBTQIA community as far as drag, which might sound surprising, but even from within we tend to maybe kind of get stuck in caste systems or social classes. And for example, maybe the pageant queens don't always understand where the camp queens are coming from, or the camp queens might not get where the art house queens are coming from or something. And in a perfect world, or even, the queens don't always get where the kings are coming from and vice versa. In a perfect world, we would all be open-minded and we would all, come together to celebrate that diversity. But unfortunately, sometimes if you look at drag as kind of a microcosm of a society, you can see how different prejudices form. Hopefully we'll move away from that someday. What's the dating life? If that answers the question. Yeah, I was in a long-term relationship with somebody for almost 8 years. And at the start of it, I had to come out of the closet, so to speak, as far as the drag thing went. And told them, I said, yeah, I do this thing for charity benefits and whatnot. And I said, I'm not only David Richardson, but sometimes I'm Miss Kitty Litter ATX. And he said, oh, honey, years ago I was Tish the Fish, and I used to do drag as well. So great, that was like amazing to find somebody who got it and wasn't put off by that. That was a rare experience. Since then, I've found that there's a lot of people in the community who will say, yes, we're very open-minded, we're very tolerant, we love everybody. However, as far as having a relationship with somebody, for a lot of gay men, They kind of want somebody who fits a very masculine aesthetic, 24 hours a day. And when I have told people, I said, because I like to be upfront and say, I don't want them to later feel duped or something. So pretty early in the conversation, I will tell people, well, this is what I do on the side. And a lot of times that doesn't sit very well with people. I don't get a lot of dates. And I don't know, I guess sometimes I think about it and I feel a little bit cheated on that front, because to me it should just be about who you are as a person and not what you wear or what you do for a hobby or whatever. But not everybody feels that way, unfortunately. But with my schedule too, admittedly, it would be hard for anybody to have a relationship with me because I'm married to pretty much 2 careers at this point. I have a full-time job that runs anywhere from 52 to 60 hours a week sometimes, plus getting home and getting ready for shows, pretty much every weekend. So that doesn't leave a lot of free time to share with somebody, and most people want that component where you're able to sit down and spend time with them. And because there's so much going on with me right now, I don't have that time. And so it would have to take somebody with a lot of patience to put up with that.
Wasn't always a flight attendant, ladies and gentlemen. At one time I used to work the cruise ships. Oh yes, the Nina, the Pinta, the Santa Maria, the Titanic. I went down before it did, let me tell you.
I think what it is that because of the fact that for so many years that gay men did live with that stereotype that they were all limp-wristed sissies and, flaming queens or whatever, that they tried to break away from that. And so then it went 360 to where people wanted to be hyper masculine. They wanted to be uber males, very alpha in their presentation. And so to have somebody who kind of does both is a little odd for some people. They don't get that. I have no desire to be a woman. I have all the respect for them in the world. But, at the end of the day, I'm very happy being a guy. But there is a good deal of prejudice in the gay community towards people who do drag. You can look at any small faction, a small town, or a city, or an organization, or a group, and there's always going to be prejudice of some sort. What I hope to bring to the party is just letting people know that A, that I'm not ashamed of what I am and what I do, and that B, that there is some validity to it. And maybe if they get to know me and don't judge right away, but just kind of sit there and look and take a step back for a minute, they might see that at the end of the day that I have something to share, and it's important.